We're back, and it's time for The Fix with Ron Brownstein, the political director for Atlantic Media and Newsweek's my friend Jonathan Alder, who's on MSNBC as an analyst always, and he's author of The Defining Moment. What a great book that is about the early days of the Roosevelt administration. Here's Vice President Joe Biden, who we all love, talking to Matt Lauer, who we also all love, on the Today Show. Let's listen.
If a member of your family came to you and said, look, I want to go on a commercial airliner to Mexico and back within the next week, would you think it's a good idea?
I would tell members of my family, and I have, I wouldn't go anywhere in confined places now. It's not that it's going to Mexico. It's you're in a confined aircraft. When one person sneezes, it goes all the way through the aircraft. That's me. I would not be at this point, if they had another way of transportation, suggesting they ride the subway. So from my perspective, what it relates to is mitigation. If you're out in the middle of a field and someone sneezes, that's one thing. If you're in a closed aircraft, a closed container, a closed car, a closed classroom, it's a different thing.
Well, the Vice President's spokeswoman, Elizabeth Alexander, put out this statement shortly after the Vice President's appearance on the Today Show. Quote, the advice he is giving family members is the same advice the administration is giving to all Americans, that they should avoid unnecessary air travel to and from Mexico. If they are sick, they should avoid airplanes and other confined public spaces, such as subways. This is the advice the Vice President was giving family members who are traveling by commercial airline this week. As the President said just last night, every American should take the same steps you would take to prevent any other flu. Well, obviously, that's not what the Vice President said. No. He said nothing about Mexico. He said, don't get on an airplane, don't get on a subway. An amazing statement.
It is an amazing statement. You know, one thing the Obama administration says is that Joe Biden is more helpful to the president in private than in public. And I think that's something on which we can all agree.
You are so sarcastic,
no.
And I'm going to take the mic away from you for that. Let's go to Jonathan Alder. Sir, it was, I think, and I'm sympathetic to Joe Biden, I like the guy, is that he was trying not to be ethnic. He was trying not to take a shot at Mexico in any way. So he said the problem isn't Mexico and the flu down there. The problem is confined spaces. Yeah, what do you think, Jonathan?
Look, this was just a classic gaffe, and then it was bad damage control. Instead of trying to pretend he didn't say something, they should have just said he misspoke or used one of their classic formulations when somebody steps on a banana peel. And people are very indulgent of Joe Biden's gaffes. Everybody would have moved on. They should have just acknowledged that what he said, you know, was in danger of shutting down the entire transportation industry in the United States. He just had this great outing on 60 Minutes. He'd done really well.
He had a good week with Arlen Specter, too. He was the Cupid in that affair. Here's White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs following up here.
I'm telling you what he meant to say, which was that if somebody is experiencing symptoms, you heard the president say this last night, if somebody is feeling sick, if somebody is exhibiting symptoms of being sick, then they should take all necessary precaution. Obviously, if anybody was unduly alarmed for whatever reason, we would apologize for that.
You know, I always go back, lately I've been thinking about being a kid in Catholic school, like third grade, getting in trouble, being put out in the hallway. I feel like I'm always in the hallway, and Joe Biden's been put in the hallway again. And what am I, how did I do it again?
You know, especially because I was thinking the contrast with the president, who is so precise and so disciplined and is so careful in the way he chooses words. You can almost sometimes see the gears grind, you know, as he thinks about his answer. Look, I think that Biden is Biden, and
I think he's every man. We'll be right back with Jonathan Alder and Ron Brownstein with more sympathy and fun on the Politics Fix. You're watching Hardball. By the way, it's pretty harmless so far, this stuff. Anyway, you're watching Hardball only on MSNBC.